So this is breaking news. It is also not anything to joke about, anything to laugh about. It's like it's all fun and games, but it really isn't, especially considering what's at stake. This country, so many people, so many lives. But Sarah sent me this email, and I appreciate you sending me this email, Sarah. Former President Joe Biden diagnosed with aggressive form of prostate cancer. And I'm not going to read this whole article because I'm sure you guys have already heard by now. But I will play this brief clip. I think this is ABC News or CBS or one or the other.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Moore. We join you with some breaking news. Former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. A spokesperson for Biden says he was diagnosed Friday and called it a more aggressive form of the disease. Biden and his family are now reviewing his treatment options. CBS News White House reporter Willie James Edmond joins us now from Washington. Willie, what else has Biden's office said about the diagnosis so far?
Hey there, Jessica. We're getting this statement from the former president's office just moments ago. I want to read that statement in full for our viewers. It says last week, President Joe Biden was seen for a new finding of a prostate nodule after experiencing increasing urinary symptoms. And then it goes on to say, on Friday, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer characterized by a Gleason score of 9 with metastasis to the bone. While this represents a more aggressive effective management. And it then goes on to say that the president is reviewing those treatment options with his family. Now, this isn't the first time that the Biden family has dealt with a cancer diagnosis. Remember, the president's late son, Beau Biden, was diagnosed with brain cancer and passed away several years ago. So surely the president's family is circling around him with this diagnosis, and we'll wait to hear more from the former president's team.
Yeah,
Jessica.
absolutely. They're no stranger to the cancer journey. We understand his doctors have said even though it's spread to the bone and it is a more aggressive form, there's something about it that makes it more treatable. You're hearing that it's hormone responsive, right? Isn't that what they're saying?
That's right. In this statement, they're saying that this is a more hormone-sensitive type of cancer, which allows for effective management. But remember, the former president is an 82-year-old man. A lot of the reason why he stepped down was because of some of the concern about his fitness to continue to serve as president if he was elected to a second term. Certainly, this is a diagnosis that was not something that a lot of people would have thought of for the former president, but certainly something that his family will have to deal with now in terms of that treatment plan as they look forward to how he's going to not only deal with this health crisis, but how he's going to mentally deal with this as well, because certainly this is a diagnosis that a lot of Americans, millions of Americans, have to deal with on a day-to-day basis that touch many families, and it has touched the Biden family in the past with the death of his son, Beau Biden.
Such a good point you bring up there. And Willie, have we heard any response from the current administration, the Trump White House?
Yeah, well, President Trump spent the day at his golf course in Sterling, Virginia. We have not heard from the White House in terms of a statement with the former president's diagnosis of prostate cancer. We'll wait and see if the former president posts on social media or addresses the media here. We are, of course, staged here at the White House. But for now, we have reached out to the White House, but no comment just yet, Jessica.
It's a shame that even in this instance, the media couldn't help themselves from their own bias, saying President Trump spent the day on the golf course. Okay, well, odds are he probably already had plans to play golf, number one. Number two, Biden didn't die. He just got a form diagnosis. The world is not going to stop revolving because of that. Number three, I don't know. How quickly did President Biden drop what he was doing when former President Donald Trump was almost shot and killed on live TV? I'll tell you what is this guy's name? I don't know what this guy's name is. Willie James, whatever this Willie James Edmond or Inman. Go fuck yourself, dude. absolutely go fuck yourself. Like, literally, we've all just got this news. So you mean to tell me between the time you got the news and rushed to report breaking news, you don't have a report from President Trump having already spoken and reached out to Biden? You don't know that. Besides adding this passive aggressive little fucking bitch ass jab saying he's out there playing golf, give me a fucking break.
We know you'll be staying on top of every development. Willie James Inman, thank you. Stay with us on CBS News as we continue to follow this breaking story, and we'll be right back.
But more importantly, some of the comments that I saw here, prayers for President Biden. So sad for him and his family. I wish him well and hope he makes a good recovery. That his cancer is treatable. Love to him. Praying for former President Biden. This guy asks, how did Biden's doctors miss this? He was monitored almost constantly when he was president. And this one right here, I want to come back to that one. I'll put thumbs up that one so I don't forget it. I pray he's surrounded by people that love him. It's amazing. All of the things his doctors missed over the past 4 years. All my heart. Politics aside, prayers for him and his family. That explains why he's criticized for being clumsy and looking so weak, yet people make fun of that. Yeah, LOL, what? I'm not really sure about that one. Bless his heart, terrible situation, prayers for all the family. So, there's a trend now going on. It's like fatigue, and it's like black fatigue is like one of the big ones. Maybe like Biden fatigue, or maybe legacy media fatigue, or maybe partisan fatigue, or maybe politics fatigue. But there's maybe even comment fatigue. Trust me, from someone who posts videos on a regular basis, multiple times a day on multiple channels. The amount of comments that come through, yeah, there's definitely fatigue. It's not about me, though. Barbara Tarrant, 6534, can the media allow alone time for him and his family? And here's the deal, folks. I think the short answer is no. Because the media, so far, as best as I can tell, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, are almost one and the same with the Democrat Party. And so you have that. However, I feel like if this was someone else, if this was a Republican, they probably report on it just as much. And it's for this very reason. They believe, and if you guys saw my last video and you saw what Dave Ramsey said, if it bleeds, it leads. Well, there's truth behind that. And more than likely, they feel like, well, the worse the story, the more tragic, the more negative, possibly fatal, the more catastrophic, the horror, the bad news, the better. From a perspective of visibility, impressions, reach, virality, shares, engagement, likes, follows, you name it. Maybe even increased advertising dollars, because companies are saying, well, if we can get on your feed, if we can get on your videos, and you're continuously and constantly pushing out the negativity that everybody is gravitating towards, then maybe we can convert on more sales. Granted, the reason why I would think most negativity, sells, and gets the most eyes and visibility is because of the algorithm. And the algorithm, look, guys, you can say what you want, but if eventually something is shown to enough people enough times, they will watch it. Anyone who has any experience with the back end of YouTube and YouTube Studio Analytics and has analyzed the data, you can see your impressions and you can see your click-through rate. And no matter what your click-through rate is, the impressions is what matters most. Granted, you could theoretically work really hard to develop strategies that would create the highest click-through rates imaginable. I mean, I've had some that have hit almost 40% click-through rate, but it doesn't matter. Because if you have a 40% click-through rate, but the algorithm decides to only show your video to a small handful of people, then you're only going to get a small amount of views. However, the algorithm will then determine and decide how many people they want to show your video to by way of impressions. And then it doesn't matter what your click-through rate is. Your click-through rate could be one. I've had click-through rates below 1 in certain instances, and the videos perform amazingly and almost go viral. You know why? Because they have millions of impressions. And YouTube's like, I don't care that every time we show this video to someone, they don't want to click on it to watch it, but we really want people to see this video. So we're just going to keep giving it more impressions. We're just going to keep pushing it. We're just going to keep showing it to more people, and eventually they watch it. I'm pretty sure at least one person watching this video can comment down below and say, you know what, Kevin, you're right. There was a video that was continuously being shown to me in my feed and my algorithm, and I couldn't escape it. And you know what? Finally, I clicked it, and finally I watched it. And that's how it works. So once news, legacy media, or whomever figures that out for whatever niche category they're in, well, then they can exploit it to their own benefit to get more views, more reach, more growth, and ultimately more money. And so the question here being, well, can the media allow alone time to him and his family? The answer is probably not, because even though this is CBS News, it could be CNN, it could be ABC, it could be MSNBC, it could be whomever, not to mention them already having experienced low levels of viewership and ratings drops. They're hungry. They're desperate for this visibility, and a situation like this, whether it's Biden or not, they're going to push this as long as they can, for as much as they can, and bleed this joker dry. Zero regard or respect to the family. It's just my take.